Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're going to demystify estate planning. And here's the thing, it's a crucial step, but it's not really for you. It's for the people you love most. It's about making sure everything you've worked for gets to them smoothly and, efficiently.
All right, let's just jump right in with a number that's it's pretty shocking. A report from Bloomberg found that a staggering 60% of Americans don't have a will. I mean, think about that. That's 6 out of every 10 people who haven't put a plan in place for their family's future. So, what's the holdup? Why do so many people put this off? Well, it really boils down to two big things. First, people think it's going to cost a fortune to see a lawyer. And second, and this is a huge one, there's this myth that you have to be super wealthy to even need an estate plan. As we're about to see, that could not be more wrong. And look, this procrastination, it creates a massive risk. Because if you don't have a plan, you're literally handing over control. Critical decisions about your assets, your money, even your kids, they're left up to the state and the court system, not you. Okay, so what do you actually need to stay in control? Let's break down the essential toolkit. And honestly, it's probably way simpler than you think. And here's a really important point. This isn't just about what happens when you're gone. A good plan protects you right now while you're alive. Now, this is a fantastic way to understand the two heavy hitters here, a will versus a trust. Think of your will as your listing document. It just lists out your wishes, right? But the trust, that's your holding document. It actually holds onto your assets to make sure those wishes happen exactly as you want, smoothly, and really importantly, privately. So your will, that's the absolute core, the instruction manual for your estate. This is where you officially say, okay, this person is in charge. That's your executor. This person raises my kids. Those are the guardians. And this is who gets my stuff, your beneficiaries. Having this all spelled out is honestly the best way to keep your family from fighting later on. But a complete plan, it's more than just a will. These other documents, these are for you while you're still living. A financial power of attorney lets someone you trust manage your money if you can't. A healthcare surrogate is the person who makes medical decisions for you. The HIPAA form, that just gives them access to your medical records so they can make those decisions. And the living will, that lays out your end-of-life wishes. It's all about keeping you in the driver's seat no matter what. All right, let's shift gears and talk about the single biggest headache in all of estate planning. It's this legal process called probate. And frankly, avoiding it is the #1 goal of any good estate plan. So, what exactly is probate? Well, it gets triggered when assets, like your house, for example, are only in your name when you die. And here's the part that catches so many people by surprise. Even if you have a will, those assets still have to go through probate. It's the trust that saves you. Without it, your family gets dragged into this long, expensive, and totally public court process just to get what you wanted them to have. And this really shows you why probate is such a nightmare. First, your assets are completely frozen by the court. Then, you're looking at a legal process that drags on for 6 to 12 months, sometimes even longer. And while all that's happening, any creditors you have get paid first. Your family, they're just stuck waiting for what's left. So how in the world do you skip that whole painful ordeal? This is where the revocable living trust really becomes the hero of the story. See, by putting assets like your house into the trust, they completely bypass the court system. They go straight to your beneficiaries just like you planned. It saves a ton of time, money, and oh my gosh, so much stress. Okay, but what if you do, nothing? What if you don't create a plan at all? The consequences for your family can be really, really severe, and often in ways that most people just never see coming. There's a legal term for dying without a valid will. It's called dying intestate. And when that happens, you basically give up all your control. The state government literally steps in and decides who gets your stuff based on these generic, one-size-fits-all legal formulas. It has nothing to do with what you actually wanted. And for anyone who's a parent with young kids, this is the absolute most terrifying part. If you haven't named guardians in a will and something happens to both parents, a stranger in a courtroom, a judge who doesn't know you or your family, is going to decide who raises your children. It's chilling. And there's another huge risk too. Let's say you don't have something like a children's trust set up. Your kid could turn 18 and suddenly get a massive inheritance dropped in their lap. We're talking life insurance money, the money from your house, everything, all at once with absolutely no guidance or structure. You can imagine how that might go. So, this is where modern solutions are really changing the game. They're designed to make this whole essential process way more accessible and complete. A great example is a service called NetLaw. It was actually created by an estate planning law firm to tackle those exact problems we talked about, the high cost and the complexity.
What they do is provide all those critical documents you need all in one complete package. So you get your will, the all-important probate avoidance trust, a trust for your kids, all your healthcare and financial directives. They even include a trust for your pets. It's the whole shebang.
And the credibility here is just so important. NetLaw actually won a major award from the American Bar Association, the James Keene Award, for how well they deliver legal documents online. Everything is legally binding and specific to your state, drafted by lawyers in all 50 states. And get this, one single plan covers both you and your spouse, and it comes with free unlimited updates for life. That's a huge deal.
I mean, when you compare it to the old school way of doing things, the difference is it's stark. You can get your entire plan done in, 30 to 45 minutes from your own home for one affordable fee. The alternative? Spending hours making multiple trips to a lawyer's office and shelling out anywhere from $3,500 to $5,000 or even more.
Look, at the end of the day, this really isn't about planning for death. It's about planning for life and for the lives of the people you love, right? You make decisions every single day to control your life, to control your finances. So the real question is, are you going to take control of the legacy you leave behind too?